Okay, so the question today is, on the seeking path, how can faith interact with repentance or the recognition of an opportunity to turn around and try again when we've made a misstep? I am Oorkas. I am with this instrument. I greet you all, my brothers and sisters, in the love and light of our Radiant One, the Infinite Creator. Our blessings are with you each this day as we commune with you and blend with your energies. It is a time of communion for us, and we acknowledge the assistance of our brothers and sisters of Hatan in accomplishing this contact. For, like you, we are new on this path. And while we are across the threshold from you, still, there is so much to learn. My brothers and sisters, this path goes on and on. And it is not a challenge to consider whether one can endure when infinity is the measurement of the path. This circumscribes the intent of your question today, and we honor this humility in seeking, for you would perhaps not be well served by an overabundance of confidence. We would therefore also share in this humility by confessing our inability to speak with perfect precision to all matters that we may entertain with you this afternoon. We rely on the brothers and sisters amongst us here to exercise their discrimination in what they take into their mind-body-spirit complexes of that which we offer. We would like to speak freely and plainly to you, for we remember well this cusp of fourth density that you stand in front of. And we know how much energy is vibrating there on the threshold, how much anticipation you feel, and how urgent it can sometimes seem to get to the point of evolution, as one might say. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, so dear to us, keep your own counsel and keep counsel with each other. And let us be nothing more than inspiration on the path you have chosen. We know that in reviewing this message, you will be able to take this in. And we ask simply that you take the time to do this and to weigh each concept that we transmit and to ensure the overlap of that energy waveform with your own, such that you find what works, not simply what is stated in all of its nuance. For there are capacities of the spoken word both to guide and to deceive. And this must be understood as the price one pays when one communicates within an illusion. You have the key to all wisdom within you. So clutch that key with love and honor. Honor yourselves and each other. And we will honor you as well with some thoughts from perhaps a single step farther down the road than you stand at the moment, as you rest and comfort each other and share laughter. We remember these times of third density, and we miss them. For now, our laughter is unceasing and omnipresent. And it was, in some ways, more poignant and special when it was a stop on the trail, so to speak. Our vision of a path of seeking that we have sketched out in our admonition for caution on your part is really very much embraced by us of planet Oorkas. For we indulge in third density once more through this contact, and understand that it is not always a matter of perfect clarity where the footfall occurs next. Each and every morning, my brothers and sisters, you have the opportunity to take a step forward, to take a step backwards, or to plop down beside the road. The majesty of this process of seeking is that it goes on to infinity. For when you reunite with the Creator, you will have become the path, much as our brothers and sisters of Hatan have explained in a contact not terribly long ago in our measurements. This is well, and we offer our congratulations for indulging, we correct this instrument, for evaluating oneself in the context of a constant choice one has with the rising of the sun. And there will be times when one feels one needs that break, or even that one has gone too far in an errant seeming direction. When you feel this way, brothers and sisters, keep your wits about you if you can. The chief danger to avoid is the panic, the scurrying about as the second density creature, reaching out and pulling back in a reactive mode. This is the energy of faith that this instrument spoke of, echoing words of another instrument in whose path he attempts to walk. The faith that you are grasping for can seem distant at times, can it not? It is the Polaris in the sky. It is fixed in its orientation of your directionality of seeking. But is it not somewhat faint in the sky? Does it not twinkle in and out of clear vision? This is the nature of faith, the nature of that concept of the seeking fool in some sense, the archetype that best demonstrates the curiosity of the Creator in this sector of creation. For you have a Logos who biases you and your illusion in the direction of kindness and an innocent curiosity. It is therefore expected that those who have grasped the reins of the steeds of seeking to pull their chariot forward towards the rising sun would, in fact, avail themselves of this key energy, this impulse to step out into thin air and to trust in the beneficence of your Creator and the purpose of this illusion. This is a point we might stress at this juncture. For in your seeking, you will often feel that you have overextended yourself. You may not even need to feel that you have taken a great leap forward to feel this uneasiness. You may think of this as a test, and we would encourage this model to be applied when one feels a discomfort or a reluctance to boldly tread forward. This is a way in which you may recover and rest and remember in your heart what is the wind that is blowing your sails, what is pushing the ship towards the horizon. Now, every entity in this creation makes judgments that are later discovered to have taught one the negative lesson. That is, have taught one where the boundaries of that which is lay. We walk around the word mistake, my friends, because as other entities have stated through this instrument, mistakes teach. The disproven hypothesis is a very important step towards truth. You may, however, attenuate the aperture of your perception such that all you focus on is that, quote, mistake, unquote. And therefore, that focus is a little bit misaligned, shall we say. It is important to achieve focus on those things which you strive towards, both those which prove out to be worthy and those which prove in the long run to be unworthy. Both of these are interesting phenomena to scrutinize and examine carefully, turning them about and noticing their features. And you have infinite time to do this. We correct this instrument. This urgency that you feel is largely an illusion, my brothers and sisters. There must be something pulling you along that you feel gives you purpose in your striving. However, there is a moment at which striving will not serve you. And it is not because there is any wrongness in seeking beyond what one knows and letting the heart guide one. This is never wrong, ever. Instead, it is simply that one need learn a kind of rhythm of seeking. This is very important, and especially in third density, where much is occluded from direct intake of your perceptive abilities. Consider this situation. You have ventured into a corner of our Creator's beautiful and vibrant creation. And this corner is a bit of a dead end. You are the piece of the protean creator, extending itself in all directions. And in your neck of the woods, so to speak, you have run into a bit of a barrier. This is useful information to your creator, but you have the focused awareness of individuality at that point of contact with this barrier. It may even hurt a bit in your experience to not be able to extend further as one, we correct this instrument, as a protean growing, exploring creator innately feels driven to do. So it is the case that you are learning a kind of skill here. Checking in with your inner instruments of guidance, shall we say. To recognize the appropriateness of striving, while also learning to temper the angst that can sometimes be the experience of striving within such a cramping illusion. It is not a failure, you must understand. And the more that you sit with these feelings that you are issuing up for the Creator's compilation and distillation, the more you will feel that the purpose is served even when you must take a step backwards. This is the grand purpose of meditation and other forms of contemplation and reflection. They offer to you another mode, much as the new day offers another mode. It is a new container of consciousness. And incarnate life proceeds as a continual pouring of oneself into the stricture of the day and the releasing of the self from that stricture. This is what we mean by a rhythm that one's life can lend the seeking process. If one can learn to play one's melody within this time signature, so to speak, one will feel that one can have the freedom to make those errors that one might describe to oneself. We have stated at length that they are not in truth errors, but we understand that there is a grasping towards a single pole within your illusion that is salubrious to the evolutionary project. And it will feel bad sometimes. Remember, creatures of second density recoil from the bad feeling because it is all they have to go on. You are not a mind-body complex alone. You have the light from above, the channel to intelligent infinity, the conduit to the unified Creator, built within you and gloriously expressed in this density. This is, as the kids say, nothing to sneeze at. It is a second opportunity for reflection from the feedback loop of the mind and body complexes. And the more that you avail yourself to the meditative state of mind, the more this light will stream in and illuminate the conditions of your seeking, so that a false step here, a brick wall there, these are just features of the mansion in which you toddle about. And those who toddle about learn the dimensions of the building and learn to find the door to the wider world. And then, when you have chosen the door you want to use, whether it be the front door or the back door, my friends, you will be able to look upon the building from the outside and recognize how cradled in safety and security and love you had been all along. And then faith will not be something you need to build. It will be as plain as day. Now, you are not there yet on the outside of the mansion. You are perhaps sometimes feeling like you are stuck in the closet, in fact, fumbling for the handle on the door to the closet. But we affirm to you that it is within each and every one of your abilities to stretch the self through time and to draw upon the future self so that you can cooperate with the rhythm of your life and learn when the iron is hot to strike. This is the availing of opportunity that this rhythm can provide you. And it is most easily reflected by a connection within to the fullness of one's evolutionary totality. In past contexts, our brothers and sisters of the Confederation have described this using a term, the higher self. It may seem that this is a vehicle solely for the special use in rituals such as the one with which you participated with this instrument at the outset of this afternoon. No, my friends, no. Do not limit yourself to such a narrow conception of your evolutionary potential, if you can help it. For faith is the outer garment, but the self within is infinite. And you can release the substance of seeking completely in a moment by simply invoking your holistic consciousness in a moment. We give this instrument the vision of the archetype of the potentiator of spirit, the lightning-struck tower in your tarot. But as those of Ra have stated, this is truly contained in the flash of light within the darkness. This experience is available to you, and you can achieve it with careful discipline, listening closely for this rhythm, using the very helpful rhythm of the new day to wash yourself clean of that which has caked upon you, this unburnt fuel of catalysis that all will experience in their lives. For no souls use catalyst in the most efficient way. This is why they are seeking and are not at the end of the trail yet. But you have each and every day a new opportunity to newly dedicate yourself to the energy, the flow of faith, and to thereby tread forward with a new confidence, not the shaky confidence that may or may not have given you good, fruitful feelings on a day past. This is what an adept does. It is not a matter of putting on robes and waving wands or incanting arcane phrases. It is a dedication to the fool's path across the chasm. And if one falls, one picks oneself up, one dusts off the pants, and one gives it another go. As this instrument has read in the words of she who is named Pema, if you never give up on yourself, you will learn how to never give up on others. And then it is not all on your shoulders in the first place. The protean entity that is experiencing itself through you can more and more be identified with through the gleam of love in your sister's eye, in the stout heart that is conveyed by your brother. You can reach out and place your hands on their shoulders and look in their eyes and know that you are one, that this is one seeking path, that this is one creator, that you all are a part of. And you can have that sublime experience where the illusion melts away for a tiny fraction of an instant. And this could provide the inspiration for years and years of seeking in common. This seeking we commend you to, for we have been there, my brothers and sisters. We have no reason to think our promises or assurances will be of any comfort when the path becomes tedious or rough. Nevertheless, we offer it because we want you to know that that feeling is okay. That sense of failure is okay. It is not something that distinguishes you. It is something that you have in common with every spark of the Creator that has ever existed. We wish to thank you for your attention and energies which you have offered this instrument, and remain your friends of the planet Oorkas at this time. If we can expand on any topics that we have spoken to, or go in a new direction, we would take your hand and have you lead us through a query. I am Oorkas.
Okay, I was hoping if you could elaborate on the potentiator of the spirit.
I am Oorkas and am aware of this question that you have posed us. We would not go into great detail, for it is not an appropriate setting for the explication of the archetypal mind at this juncture. After all, we must flow with the rhythm of our seeking, my brother. And the archetypal mind is vast. In some ways, it too is an area where one can feel lost or trapped if one is too exacting in one's seeking. What we would suggest is that the spirit complex is your greatest asset in the third density illusion. It is your connection to the realization of infinity, and not just the experience of life in and out of incarnation as a sine wave vibrating through a continuum of creative potential. The guidance we would provide at this point, my brother, would be to begin to study the potentiator of spirit as a corollary to the matrix of spirit. This is information that our brothers and sisters of Ra have shared with this planet quite successfully. Even if there is many stones unturned in the riverbank of instruction, you would do well, we suggest, to take responsibility for your education in this matter. You are enough. You are capable. And when the will is aligned with the desire, the teacher will present herself. The potentiator of spirit is the release into the kinetic of the potential of intelligent infinity at root. For until such time as the spirit complex releases itself into your awareness as an experience of consciousness, you are, in some cases, just plodding along as an animal, a mind-body complex, in the darkness, chained to the proclivities and needs of a physical complex of body. We point out the suddenness of the archetype, that it is a flash of light. It is not something that you make happen, my brother. It happens to you, in spite of you and your seeking in many cases. This is the other side of faith, in a way, that it is not up to one to find this light. One might feel that one deserves illumination, or has worked hard enough, or has done what one thinks is necessary to experience it. And yet, it keeps its own schedule, my brother, and reveals itself on its terms, not yours. And this is part of coming into a greater awareness of spirit, to understand that the winds will blow as they will, and that your participation in the vastness of the creative project is not one where you call the shots. This is important to recognize as a component of seeking. For if one feels that one's progress is solely a matter of one's determination or lack thereof, it would be very easy to lose heart and become discouraged at the limited state of one's progress at a given moment in time. This is where the potential of intelligent infinity shines a light on the narrowness of incarnate awareness. You become aware not simply that you are in a closet or in a mansion, but you are on a planet, in a solar system, in a galaxy, in a tiny corner of an infinite creation. And this recognition of scale in consciousness will become the key that one uses to release oneself from that closet. And then the given step on the path is seen for what it truly is. Not the end-all be-all, but a tiny drop in a vast ocean. Has this answer given you what you seek, my brother? We are those of Oorkas.
I believe so. Thank you.
We are grateful to you, my brother, for you have opened the door to a facet of our message that was important to emphasize. Are there other queries at this moment? We are Oorkas.
I can ask another question if no one else is. I guess first I'd like to ask, this is kind of off topic, but I was wondering if some infinities were larger or smaller than others.
We are Oorkas. We are aware of the question, but we feel we do not have enough to work with. Could you please explain a little more what you are looking for, my brother? We are Oorkas.
Okay, well, I was thinking about the creator and the individualization process, and I guess the reunification with the creator. I'm kind of been thinking a lot about, I guess I don't want to say goal, but what's changing, I suppose. When a piece returns to the creator, what is different than when it originally became individualized in the first place, I suppose?
Ah, yes. We now understand the thrust of your question as those of Oorkas. We would direct you, my brother, to the wise words of the Kuo principle. Kuo, some years ago, spoke directly to this, and we will let our answer fall within the pattern they laid out. The process of the Creator attempting to understand itself in a context that it has conjured into existence is a facet of the creative endeavor. You, as an individual mind-body-spirit complex, and more than just this complex, but a creator and a logos yourself, play a role both in the details of this discovery and in the harvest of the learning that issues from this path of seeking. This is the purpose, in part, for individuation to begin with. Now, it is true that all is one and that nothing new is available under the sun, so to speak. And yet, this is only the case because an inquiry by the Creator of itself has been made. And you, in your consciousness, right at this moment, my brother, are participating in that. It is true that all is well, that all is one, and that what can be learned has been learned without any time having passed. But you are part of the reality of this discovery that has already occurred. Your feeling in your body right now, your sense of wonder in your mind complex at this very moment, is a portion of a timeless principle that has extended throughout creation in all time. Individuation is a way in which focus can be achieved by this infinite creator. For without focus, there is no ability to see a piece of the creator's very self in a particular context. It would instead be in no context, for there would be no separation, you see. So, this is how you serve. And in serving other selves, you serve the self, the creator self that lies within, that flame burning in your heart that is your center. And you find your orbital path as you extend your consciousness over a cosmic span of time to once again recognize that you are at the beginning and the end at every single moment. We recognize this is a cryptic answer, and we encourage you to reach out to your comrades in this circle to help decipher it. For it is in the working with this information, not just the conveyance of the information in a session such as this, that one takes it in, chews it, digests it, and releases the energy that gives one what one seeks, that feeling of satiation one is after in the first place. Can we assume, my brother, that this will satisfy you for the nonce? We are those of Oorkas.
Yes.
We are pleased and a little relieved, for we have stretched this instrument quite a bit. Is there a final question before we take our leave of this circle? We are those of Oorkas.
All right. I'll ask one more question. When we receive or feel seemingly random, strong emotions, I was just wondering, do they come from within, and what does that indicate? Does that indicate something that needs to be worked on? Yeah.
I am Oorkas. I am in receipt of your question. You are knocking on the right door, my brother. Your emotions represent a deeper reality, a more full reality than the illusion that presents itself to your eyes and ears. The challenge is to find a way to work with it that keeps your feet planted on the ground of this illusion, so that working with your emotions does not occur as an alternative to service, but instead is one in the same process. Therefore, honor those feelings even when they are mysterious. Perhaps a journal would be a way in which you may work with them. Or set aside moments of contemplation in which you allow for these emotions and feeling tones to amplify themselves within your instrument. Those of Ra have spoken of a balancing technique by which you may work with emotions. These are typically emotions that one finds difficult or challenging, but the principle is the same, regardless of one's appraisal of their emotional, we correct this instrument, their valence of affect. You will get a similar answer any way you pose this query, my brother, for your answers are not with those of Oorkas, but with those of Max. We will always point you towards that oracle within you, and will only offer little hints on the edges of your plumbing of the mystery within yourself. And you can be assured with complete and utter confidence that these mysteries shall have their revelation moment for you. Whenever you doubt this, you have brothers and sisters in this circle to whom you may reach out. And in your meditations, you have many resources, including us and those of our kind in the outer realms of this system you occupy. Can we leave the matter here for this session, my brother? We are those of Oorkas.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
We thank you. It is sometimes a little hairy, shall we say, to come up with a way of dialoguing with outer planes entities in third density. This is not a normal way in which information is conveyed. So we are grateful for you putting yourself out there on behalf of this circle. You have augmented our information substantially, and you have our gratitude, as do all here. We are grateful to have made contact again, and wish in future sessions to speak more on our area of expertise, which has to do with the connection between your peoples and this planet. There is so much to explain here, for the connection is very subtle and can be misinterpreted easily. But we know that you each are seeking in your own right, and that when you are ready, the time and opportunity will avail itself, and we will wait patiently as you maneuver your orbit in such a manner that all alignments allow for this information to gush forward. We correct this instrument to gush forth. Until that time, we remain your brothers and sisters of the planet Oorkas, beckoning you onwards on the third density path. And if we can provide any comfort or healing for stubbed toes or skinned knees, you have only to call upon us. I am Oorkas, and I will now leave this instrument. Adonai Vazu Baragas.